Hey, welcome back. So today, we have been talking about plastic surgery. So this is your first time joining us, welcome. You are in the middle of a playlist. We've been talking about the cost of plastic surgery after weight loss, lost 161 pounds and had plastic surgery. What was the day of surgery like? And today we're gonna talk about the recovery. Because here's the thing, I recovered really well from plastic surgery, and I've heard a lot of horror stories from people who have had plastic surgery. To be completely honest, I was kind of scared coming into plastic surgery. I had heard some nightmares from people who talked about the recovery process, how much pain they were in, all of that. And so going into it, I was like, ah! And so first and foremost, let me just tell you, I did it. And I'm still glad I did it. I did it and I would do it again. I did plastic surgery twice and I would do it again. So I had 2 procedures done. I had 2 surgeries done. And in the first surgery, there was 3 procedures. I had a tummy tuck, I had a boob lift, and then implants. So they lifted up the boob, they put an implant in. Those are 2 separate things, the lift and the implant, 2 separate things. And then I also had a tummy tuck. And then I had a second surgery where I had a thigh lift. The first one I would do all day, every day, twice on Sunday. So glad that I did it. The second one, I mean, I did it, so I'm glad I did it, but I would have waited longer to do it. So, though, I want to talk to you guys about the recovery process when it comes to surgery, all right? So in our last video, we talked about the day of surgery and what that looks like, what the day before and the day of looked like. And so the day of surgery, I mean, it was kind of easy peasy because you go in, you're completely put under, you come home, or in our case, we went to a hotel. I had talked to a lot of people who had plastic surgery, and almost everybody that has a complication, not all, but a lot of complications are self-induced, which means you overdo it, which causes your body to go, F you. Not all cases. Sometimes you just have bad luck and you have a complication, but a lot of complications are avoidable by simply resting. And so we had decided with 2 small kids at home to stay in a hotel during plastic surgery. So we literally had booked a hotel that was 2 miles away from our plastic surgeon's office. My hair, what is it doing? It was 2 miles away from our plastic surgeon's office, and it made it really easy for doctor's appointments because those first 10 days, you're gonna probably be back to the doctor's office about 3 to 4 times in the first 10 days because they're gonna be checking on everything. And so when you go home after surgery, you're gonna be going home with a catheter, which is a tube coming out of your vajayjay, and a bag for the pee, which is kind of nice because you can drink all the liquids you want and you don't got to get up to pee. It's a good side effect. And then when you go home from a tummy tuck and a boob job, you're going to have these things called drains. And these are clear tubes that come out of sometimes your breasts if you've had a lift. Typically, if you're just getting an implant in, they don't typically give you drains. But sometimes if you've had a lift, or especially if you've had a mommy makeover, which is the tummy tuck and the implant and the lift, that's a pretty across the board considered a mommy makeover, you're going to have some drains in. And that's just so any extra fluids that are being produced are going to drain into those tubes. And they kind of tell you and when you go in, they give you an entire folder of what to do, what not to do, what's normal, when to call the doctor, and all of that. And so one of the things that we have done is not only did we get the hotel, and we got a hotel at the Staybridge Suites. And part of the reason why we got that hotel was because I wanted a hotel that had 2 rooms. So that had a living room and a bedroom. So that way, like I could be in the bedroom resting, my husband could be in the living room working, or doing whatever, and it wouldn't interfere. He wasn't going to be in the bedroom trying to be quiet, whatever it is. And so whether you're recovering at home or in a hotel, having your own space where you can be quiet and rest is really recommended. We chose to stay in a hotel just to take off, to make me rest, basically. And we were close to the doctor's office and all of that. But one of the things we did is we had a self-lifting chair delivered to the hotel. One of the things after you have a tummy tuck, because they're cutting those ab muscles. And one of the things I did not mention in my other video is when you're getting a tummy tuck, if you've had kids and any of your abs separate at all, they can sew those back together. They can sew those back together. And it was really funny. Like after having kids, I kept telling my husband, I'm like, my rib cage is wider. I know it's wider, but you know, you hear women say stuff and sometimes you're like, is it really wider? Or is it in my head? And so when we went into the doctor's, he's like, oh, you carried your kids high. And I'm like, yeah, I did. And he's like, I can tell they've stretched out your rib cage. And I was like, shut the front door. That's a thing? It's not in my head? So yeah, I'm like those little stinkers, all that kicking. They like stretch my rib cage out. But so I had some separation. So even after I had lost all the weight, I had this little spot on my stomach that just wouldn't go flat. And maybe eventually it would have, but it was from separation from having kids. And I've read a lot of books and have people that I know that have, you know, shown that it can go back together. I don't know if it would have or not because I had it fixed, but they can fix that they can sew those muscles back together during the process of the tummy tuck. And so what the heck was I talking about before I got into that? Anyway, so you leave the doctor's office and they've given you a pain. Oh, so you have the bulbs, you have the drain tubes. That's what I was saying. You have the drain tubes because they've cut you and all of that. So if you're having a tummy tuck, any of those things, you're going to have some drains. You're going to have the catheter. Oh, that's what I was saying. The lift chair. And so when you have a tummy tuck, they cut all those muscles, right? And so to have to like lay back and then get up can cause, I'm like, what is on my shirt? It's a zipper. My sports bra zipper. I'm like, is that a stain? Anyway, so you're sitting up can be a problem. Sitting up can like really cause people a lot of pain. And so we rented a lift chair, you know, like a medical lift chair. It was a big leather one. It reclined. It had a push button recliner. So it would recline a little bit. It would recline all the way back to where I was almost laying. And then it would actually sit me up. I would just hold the button. It would sit me up so I could eat or drink, watch TV, and then it would get me all the way up. So it would take me from sitting to standing so I didn't have to hurt those ab muscles. And we had it delivered right to the hotel. With delivery and everything, it was only $165. That's it, which is like, I think it's a super good deal. When you leave the surgeon's office, this is gonna be kind of what you wear. This is this right here. It's got a heavy duty zipper. And then on the inside, it's also got like bra clips on the back. So these clip and then it zips. And it's got a hole so you can pee and poop out of it. And it's this. And it goes from the top of your boobs all the way down to almost to your knee. And then it's got this little thing, but this is what you wear. This is what they send you home in when you had a tummy tuck, and they send you home in a special bra. And you live in this. This is gonna help prevent swelling. Yeah, right, which we're gonna talk about here in just a second. So anyway, yeah. So the lift chair was amazing. Another thing I did was I took vitamins. I had a whole vitamin regimen that I took. I drank things to hydrate me. I drank a drink called Hydrate that had electrolytes in it that kept me hydrated. I drank a superfood shake every single day that had over 70 different superfoods, vitamins, and minerals inside of it. The whole first day, I didn't eat a whole lot. Here was the biggest thing. So you have the pain pump. When you go home from the hospital, they give you, or from the doctor's office, they give you a pain pump. And you have that pain pump is attached to you in like a fanny pack. And you press it if you're in pain, and it disperses more pain meds into your body. And so when you go back after and then they give you your pain meds. So you've already filled your prescriptions before you got there. Your doctor's office will give them to you before the surgery so you can get all your meds filled before you go. And I really recommend doing that. That way when you get out of surgery, you're not having to go to the pharmacy and get them filled. And the one thing that I communicated to my husband is I said, look, please don't wait till I need pain meds to give them to me. Because the one thing I was really nervous about, and I had heard horror stories about, was people waking up screaming and being in so much pain. They regretted ever doing the surgery. And I was like, dang, like, I don't want to go through all this and then regret it. Like, I just don't. And so I had told him, I said, whatever they tell you I can have, the first 48 hours, like, I'm not going to wait till I need it. Just when I can have it, give it to me. And that's what we did. We didn't over medicate, but we did exactly what they said. We didn't wait for breakthrough pain to happen. We just took the pain meds when we needed them. Or I'm sorry, we took them when I could have them. We didn't wait until I needed them. And those first couple days, like, there was almost no pain. Like, no pain. Like, I was out of it. And I didn't feel 100% like myself, but there wasn't a ton of pain that I felt. The swelling, O to the M to the G. The swelling was kind of crazy. The swelling was something I didn't expect. And our last video in this series, I'm going to be talking about surprising facts about weight loss surgery. One of the only times where I had a moment, like, I would say the entire surgeries, the whole process went really well. There was only one moment where I thought to myself, what did I do? We had went to our 3-day post checkup. They took the tubes out, the drains out, the pump was out, the catheter, all that was gone. And they said, okay, if you want to go and shower, you can shower. Don't stand in there forever, but get in there, rinse off, and then get out. And so I'm like, okay, so we get home. I have my husband helping me because this thing, like, you have to unzip it, then you have to undo these industrial clips. And it seems really easy right now, but this thing is like designed to be tight, to compress you, to kind of help with swelling. And I could kind of see my boobs, but not. They were in a bra. They were all covered up with bandages and all of that. And so I remember we got it all off and I looked in the mirror. And I went into surgery at a size 2 and not swollen. I had extra skin and I had saggy boobs, but I wasn't swollen. And they told me to expect some swelling. And so we get this thing off of me. I turn and I look into the mirror. And my eyes immediately welled up with tears because my boobs looked like anteaters. They looked like these mounds of hills. They were almost touching my, they were like up to here. They were coming out of my collarbone. My waist, instead of being like, you know, this wide, I was like this wide. My butt, my thighs, everything was swollen. I looked in the mirror. Nothing looked like I thought it was going to. And I had tears welling up in my eyes. I turned to my husband and said, I don't want to take a shower. Just help me get dressed. And he did the smartest thing he could have, which just said, okay. And he helped me. I laid back down. And because it wasn't what I expected to see. Like, I knew there was going to be swelling, but I did not know that there was going to be more than 10 pounds of swelling. I did not know that my body was going to look like I gained 30 pounds just from getting surgery. Now, yes, that's short term. But when I saw that, it wasn't what I was expecting. And all of a sudden I thought, oh my gosh, my boobs look like mountains. They don't look like boobs. My stomach looks bigger than what I went in. Like, like when I thought about it, like, it was like, Carmen, this is temporary. This isn't how it's going to stay. But in the moment when I'm emotional and I want to see these boobs, like, yeah, it was just like nope, I need to go to sleep. And so the swelling did go down. But and in the other video where I talk about surprising facts, I'm going to talk about how long it took that swelling to go down. But the biggest thing I can tell you for healing is water, vitamins, and rest. Rest. I watched more TV we stayed in a hotel for 10 days after surgery before we went home. And I laid in the recliner or laid in the bed most of the time. After about the 3rd or 4th day, I would start getting up, walking around. I would go, it's always awesome, right? I would go eat out in the living room with my husband. I can remember after the 3rd day, I'm laying in there, because again, we had a hotel room with 2 different rooms. And I woke up enough and I was like, has the cleaning lady been in here? And my husband was like, no, because I could see like trash. I could see dirty dishes. I could see that the bed hadn't been made. And I was like, and I'm like that type A personality that likes everything clean, especially when I'm in a hotel. Like, we're paying for them to clean. And my room's already clean in the hotels anyway. I'm not a messy person, but I want them to come in and re-spruce stuff, right? And so I told my husband, why haven't they been in here to clean? He's like, well, I didn't want them to disturb you. And I said, well, could you go get her and have her come in here to clean, please? And again, I had these heightened emotions going on. And he goes, that's when I knew my wife was like getting back to normal, when she woke up and noticed that there was trash in the room, because I really did sleep a lot the first 48 hours. And so, but again, if you're considering any of these procedures, if you're not going to stay in a hotel, the hotel did add, I think it was like $1,400 we ended up paying for those days. And here was the cool thing about it. We stayed at a Staybridge Suites, is they had dinner like through the whole week. So like 4 or 5 o'clock, they would have dinner. And so the cool thing was, I was like, hey, wait, I'm not cooking. My husband doesn't have to go anywhere. He doesn't have to leave me. He can just walk downstairs and get food. And by the second day, so the first couple days, he would go get the food and bring it back to the room. After the second day, third day, I would walk down there with him. But the biggest thing, like for breakfast, because I know someone's going to ask for breakfast, I would have like a shake, like a protein shake, like a superfood, a shake that was packed with like vitamins and minerals. And if you don't know one, shoot me a message. If you're like, Carmen, what vitamins did you take? What supplements did you use? What shake did you use? And you're getting this stuff done, I don't mind sharing with you what I used. Because I gotta tell you, like, it was like 7, 8, 10 days post-op, and I walked into the doctor's office and they were like, oh my gosh, you're healing so well. What vitamin regimen are you on? And when you're at the doctor's office, they will give you, they have like a most doctor's offices have like a post-op like vitamin pack that they're going to recommend to you, and you'll start taking them before the surgery and then you'll take them after. I did do that, and then I also had some other ones that I supplemented with, because again, if you're going to invest this much money, you want the best results you can get. And I wanted to make sure that my body had the nutrients to be able to heal and give me the very best results. So if you already have something, you're like, hey, I know this works great, but if you're like, what did you use? I want super good results, and I want to heal, and I want to shock the doctors with how quick I'm healing, I will totally share with you what I use. That's not a problem. I still use most of those products to this day, which tells you how good they are, that we're all these years later and I'm still using them. But getting lots of rest is really important. And sleeping, when your body's healing and it's been through something traumatic, which plastic surgery is traumatic for your body, one of the biggest things it needs is healing. And if you do those things, you know, nothing's perfect. Nothing's 100%. Can I still look at my body and say, I wish my boob did this, or I wish my stomach did that, or I wish whatever? Absolutely. You can always, again, plastic surgeons are dealing with a human body. And in my case, I had abused my body for decades. I was morbidly obese. I was 288 pounds. My body was never going to look like a 20-year-old who had never been out of shape or overweight, because that wasn't me. I had been overweight. I had been morbidly obese. I had been all those things. I had had 2 kids at that point. But it could look the best that it could. And for being almost 40, like, I'm pretty proud of the body that I've worked for, and I would do the plastic surgery all over again. And so anyway, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and make sure to catch our other videos on this playlist on all things plastic surgery. We'll see you on the next one.